Okay, looks like we're live. So, yeah. So I guess we can start out. Jesus and I met for like 5 or 6 hours this week, and we were able to get the API functional.
Nice.
So I mean, it's not completely done, but it does update videos to a playlist now, and that code's on one of Jesus' virtual machines. We haven't had a chance to merge all the data and get it up to GitHub yet, but I think that we'll plan to try to get that done before tonight so that we can turn that in and get it functional on Heroku. So that's kind of where we ended. We still need to create a way to be able to pull those videos from subscriptions or from different channels and add them to like a loop so that it'll automatically add all those and then remove them. And so that's kind of where we're at. That's what we plan to work on this week.
So I'm kind of curious about something, Cody. I don't really understand how we're supposed to merge. Like on my other class, we're working on Java as a group, and we always pull and push things. I don't know how we're supposed to do that to Heroku where it's going to like I haven't submitted any of stuff me and Jordan worked on because I don't know how to do that in this class.
Heroku works exactly the same as GitHub. That's essentially all it is just a GitHub repository.
Okay.
It's hosted on Heroku, from what I understand. So I think that you should be able to do the same command, do a git pull, merge the data, and then push it, or a commit, pull, merge, and push.
See, the other thing is I don't even have my pipeline set up to where I can pull and push, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so all that information's in this weekly document. You should be able to add your repositories, get all that information set up.
And he had said he was going to do a screencast about setting up these pipelines, and he never did one. You guys, you remember how much you had to help me with that? I kept, I didn't have my other one set up right, and then you like had to.
Yeah. And there is Jesus. I didn't get a chance to watch all the recordings from last week, but Jesus said that it did show some Heroku access. So if you go into, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to just the content page for this class, where he has the announcements, he said in this Heroku Postgres example, the instructor created.
Yeah.
There are some good examples of how to get it all on Heroku and get it running. So I haven't had a chance to watch it personally, but that's just what Jesus said last night.
No, I watched both of them. It doesn't show you how to set up the pipeline. It shows you how to get connected to the Heroku database, but it doesn't show you how to. I mean, he does it in there, but it's because it's already set up for him. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so you just need a way to. Yeah, it should just be a regular add.
I think what I'm saying is that the preliminary stuff of going into that folder and being able to set it up is what I don't have. I don't have that, and he's already got it set up on his.
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick because there's.
So Cody.
Yeah.
But maybe I should just show you. Jordan might have something to add to this, but I'll just show you what I have, and then you can kind of. Where it's like, okay, how's he going to put that in? Should I do that?
Sure.
So basically what's going on is we just need to make sure, Michael and I are unsure how to make the connection to pull the data so we add to it and then push it back. However that needs to be done so that we're adding what we've done in the correct place, in the correct manner. Cameron had made that comment that someone had done things out of order and caused a big merge problem. We just don't want to cause any problems.
Exactly. So And I also kind of want to know how it's being set up. So it's like I want to be able to pull it to NetBeans so I can see the appropriate place to put our spot in. Are you looking at my screen now?
Let me pull your screen up. Okay, yep, we should have your screen.
Okay, so like this is, I mean, I could look at the JetBeans part, but it's just like basically a spot where I would put in, and you had said you just kind of want a database for comments, and so we put in a spot where you could do any kind of comment, and it'll pull from the database and put it in descending order below. You know, nothing beyond that at this point. You said you didn't want to go deeper as to like creating users and having a user database until later, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it'd be good if we can get it functional and show it on a screen, and so I think this is a great start for sure.
So on that note, also, I found a function and a trigger that deletes the comments after a certain amount of time, and the triggers when you insert new data. So I think that was a function you wanted as well, that the comments were only available for a certain amount of time, and I verified that that's working.
Oh, good. It was working last night, Jordan.
Yeah, the function and trigger work.
So does it just, as soon as you add a comment, it deletes all the previous comments, or what does it do?
So you have a timestamp column, and you set the trigger to be when new data is added. It goes through and sees which timestamps are beyond your allotted amount, and then it drops those.
Cool. So how do we set the allotted parameters?
So so give me like an example. Do you want the comments to stay up for a week, a month? I don't know how to make them individually. Like if you only wanted one to be for a day and one to be for a week,
Sure.
that's more complicated than what I've been able to get into. But if you want all comments after they've been on for a week to drop, we could do something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds awesome.
But again, I don't think Jordan or I know how to pull and then put the data in, right, Jordan?
You're kind of cutting out on my end.
Oh.
Right. So I have problems connecting for some reason. We looked at mine, and so Michael's further on that, but we're still, unsure and didn't want to cause any problems. We have, as you saw, the code for adding and displaying, and then, the database is so simple, but then we also have the function and the trigger that will add the expiring function. So we just want to add all that, but are unsure how.
Okay.
Cody, do you think that it's possible that you could get with me afterwards to help me set up the pipeline so I could do it? Or do you, I mean, I don't know where to begin with that. I just need to set up a folder where I can pull the data and push the data, and I don't know how to set that up.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to that by any means. I think it'd be nice if Cameron were here, because he seems to know a little bit more than I do.
Yeah, he did a bunch of that too, right? He kept pushing and pulling stuff.
Yeah, and he's got multiple lines there, and multiple branches, I mean, and I don't have that much expertise in, using Git. But I mean, I could get you connected to those repositories for sure. But whenever it comes to the merging, I'm not entirely sure how to make it merge quite right either. So,
well, you're only merging if 2 updates come in at a time, right?
Sure.
If they're the same lines of code that were edited, yes.
Yeah. So all I'd want to do is be able to look at it.
Yeah, we would just be adding.
Find the right spot to put it in, and then put mine in, and then Jordan would want to add the trigger to have it delete.
okay. Yeah, we can definitely go through getting it set up so that it's connected for sure.
So one other question that I have shoot, I'm going to screen share again. Okay. So in the example, the video that he showed us, when he had, can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He had us set it up this way with the JDBC database URL,
Okay.
and that is, from the way I understand it, that is a man. I have a thing so I don't sound like an idiot. Maybe I should pull that up. Which one is it? So this JDBC URL is it's some kind of trigger you put in so that it pulls up the right. I don't know how to put it. It's kind of like you have to set up the pipeline first, almost. But then I don't even. I guess it just kind of depends on when you push it, if it's hooked up right to the right folder. I don't know. I think it has to do with a lot of that stuff that I don't have set up to mine yet.
Well, and I think that's being used to connect to the Heroku database, right?
Yeah, it's like you do the Heroku config for this URL. Are you saying it's connected to the Heroku database on NetBeans? Because that's what I originally thought, but it's not. It's more
No.
connected to the way you set up your system with it. So
Yeah,
it's where you're.
I was thinking that whenever you pushed it to Heroku, that's what it uses to connect to.
Exactly. And since I don't have that set up, it's not going to work for me. Does that make sense? But because I followed every single step, in theory, it should just work once I have the pipeline set up right.
Right. Yeah, that's my understanding as well. And I think that it just uses those environment variables and pulls that information automatically. So as soon as you push, I think that it should run the exact same as it does on your local.
Right. Perfect. Okay. That's the way I'm understanding it. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't something that I was missing, and it sounds like you're explaining it the exact way that I was thinking it. So good.
Yeah, from what I understand, I think that you're right, Mike. So do
Okay.
you guys want to update, just put in what you did so that as we get to the point where we're turning in that milestone tonight, that we can just kind of look through this document and be able to pull everyone's information?
Yeah, that sounds good. Just like we did last time. That information I think he really liked because he gave good marks on the milestones information I turned in.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
So yeah, if each team just wants to kind of update, I did a little bit of an update for ours. So how about your team, Brad? How did you guys do?
Let's see. Well, we're working on getting to our stuff to log in, right? I didn't ever work with anybody else, but I had some computer issues this week. My computer, I bought a new one. It came on Thursday, so I've just been trying to get this new one set up, and but I put a couple hours in. I'll try to push that code into our repository, but yeah.
Okay, so you weren't able to talk to Ryan or Cameron this week?
No.
And it looks like for this week's milestones, we're trying to have a functional application on Heroku. Is that right? Does that sound right to you, Jordan?
I mean, it sounds good to me. I've talked to some other class members, and they have something up on the Heroku.
Sorry, I was muted, but yeah, you're right, Cody.
Okay, and then kind of start preparing for a project demo that we're going to try to put together next week, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to try to do that in parts, or how does everyone want to work towards that demo? Do we just want to have one person do it, or what's kind of the ideas there?
That is a good question. So this is something that's due next week, not this week that we're about to enter. It's the one after, or is it this week coming up?
I think it's either the one after or even on the third week, it looks like to me.
So
And maybe we want to push that back a little bit. But
it might be easier for someone to commit to that role after they start to see the web application actually up and feel like they understand it well, you know.
yeah, so next Saturday, we have Milestone 3 due, which I think we're going to try to have a working version on Heroku. It may not be completely formatted and looking pretty, but at least it'll be functional, I think is the idea. And then the week after that, which is Saturday of week 13, we need to have that App Store page submitted. Has everyone had a chance to look at that? You know what I'm talking about there?
I have not.
No.
Okay, so in week 13, if you look at it, there's a week 13 proof assignment, which is the App Store page. And from what it looks like in the descriptions, let's see, where is that?
Finish the work you outlined in your milestone.
Yeah, I don't know where the description went, but
Right. I'm like, there's like nothing here except for our milestone 3 plan.
yeah, but I think that the idea was, I found it somewhere. I'll post a link to it in this week 12 milestones page. But the idea was just to create just like an advertisement for the app that we've created, as if it were in the App Store. Yeah, so as you look in the App Store, you know, they have like a little bit of a description, maybe some screenshots, and some reviews. And so just kind of create a welcome page for our app is the idea. So that's due in week 13. And then week 14 is the final projects due with our walkthrough. So. But I think that the milestone's good. I mean, if every group tries to kind of think about some of the problems that they faced and the ideas behind their solution and how they were able to make it work, and kind of have a little bit of a prepared section for that, then either way, whether we have one person or each group present, I think that we'll be kind of set and have it in the works. So the other thing that I was thinking that we could do is have each team decide what they want to commit to do this upcoming week to meet our milestone. So if you want to type in just kind of a commitment for your team of the goals that we have for this coming week, that'd be great.
Do we need any kind of direction with what needs to be done?
Yeah, I think that that'd be good if we kind of talk about it and discuss what each group's going to do.
So what are some things that need to be done?
So if we're going to have like a fully working well, not, you know, like kind of feature complete, I guess you could say, we're going to need to have at least the user interface complete, right?
The what complete?
The user interface, I guess just all the
Okay.
HTML stuff. But I think that would be more on my team, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, Cam or Brad. If you guys kind of took care of the views and did kind of the HTML and maybe a little bit of styling this week, that would be
Okay.
super helpful.
Yeah, that's so.
I was thinking that Jesus and I could work some more and try to flesh out that API stuff. I think that we're getting close, but there's still quite a bit of work to be done to make it fully functional. So,
I mean, this may sound like a cop out. I hope not. But if next week is when we actually have to have something functional up, and we don't have to have it up this week, then instead of putting in more time and hours today, we could over the next week figure out all that stuff to get ours added in and connected together. Because it's kind of weird on ours because Jordan did half and I did half, and we haven't been able to get them synchronized together. So maybe that's what we'll do. I don't know. Is there something else that needs to be done, Cody, that we need to focus on?
I think it'd be good if we could find a way to display, and maybe you need to work with Brad's team on this, but to display those comments over top of the video, you know what I mean? And
Okay, oh, you're saying on the same page, or
right, yeah. So in my mind, I'm envisioning like we'll have that playlist of videos, and maybe create that inside of an iframe. So that it's on an HTML page, and then underneath or to the side or however you guys want to try to make it work. I mean, we don't want to see the form for for the stuff on the same page as we see the actual results. Does that make sense?
well, sure, but that's easier. I mean, it's more simple to go to a JSP and then add the comments. It was more difficult to add it on the same page. I almost wonder if we should do a JavaScript hidden, so that like if you want to hit add comment, the form appears and goes away. But maybe that's too technical for what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, and I just think that we're not going to want, as they're watching it in the break room, we don't want them to see when the user's going to add new comments. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess I'm picturing it different. 'Cause that's the problem, is I don't know if I'm picturing everything. Like when I'm watching a video, if I want to add a comment, it's nice when you can add the comment on the same page that you're watching the video. But it sounds like this is just connecting to a break room TV. So I'm confused now as to how this is actually going to look.
Yeah. So did you saw our project description, right, and the proposal?
Yeah. Sure. Let me go back to it on our milestones.
So basically, all he's saying is just move where you insert a comment to another page. That's it.
Yeah,
And then have the comments and the video on the same page.
I already wrote a JSP for that, so that's fine. That's no problem.
And just have a way of displaying that so that, I mean, we can still see the video, but maybe they scroll across the page, or maybe they, rotate through the comments that have been added for the week. I don't know. I mean, something to that effect, so that there's some styling there. It's not taking up.
Sure. So you're saying that wherever this, no, I don't think I understand still, because like I said, it just seems counterproductive to go to a separate page to add the comment, because anytime you wanted to add a comment, you'd have to go away from the video.
So it's not a comment for the video. The comments aren't attached or associated to the videos in any way. The comments are just there to provide announcements to the employees by the management. So management will say, hey, we have a meeting this week. And as the employees are watching the break room TV, then, announcements and stuff will come up for them to see from management.
Okay. So again, it seems like it would be smart to have a user database of management. If they're the only people that should be adding it, it seems like not a comment forum as much as a announcement forum. And then it seems like it should be not open to whoever wants to throw in a comment on it.
So only management would have access to putting in the comments. I don't think we need to add, a user database. The only thing that the employees have access to is viewing it on the break room TV. That's it.
Exactly.
Oh.
And so there doesn't
Okay.
necessarily need to be a user database as much as just an admin login or even just a separate screen view so that they can go in and be able to add those.
Sure, and that's easy to make. A little block screen where they have to have a password to go past it. That's
Exactly.
simple. Okay.
I mean,
All right.
it's probably, Cody, am I right here? You were managing the content that was going up there. So, management will probably send you the comments and you will upload them. So really, you're the only one who's going to be viewing and making edits. And then in the break room, they just see the comments in the TV or the YouTube playlist.
Okay. I
Right?
totally got it now. Mike finally understands. Let's put it that way.
But is that right, Cody?
Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, I would imagine that I'd just give out the link to management and all of those guys could log in and add their own comments so that they would be viewable. But yeah, that's the essential idea.
Do you want to have the ability to add a name like we do? Like it's a small change. I mean, it's not a small change. It's the way it is, where you have whoever's in management write their name and then the comment. Do you want it to stay like that, or do you want that to change?
Sure, no, I think that that's fine. I mean, and if they want it to be an anonymous comment, they could just say management or supervisors or whatever.
Perfect. Great. No problem. So we'll like you said, work with Brad and try to make sure that we have some kind of pipeline set up so that we can put this in so that it's actually functional by the end of next week. That's what we're going to end up doing.
Yeah,
And that's okay. And that's okay for our part.
That sounds awesome to me. I mean, I think that that'll be a big step in the right direction if we can get that merged with the API stuff, and maybe Brad does some views and some styles so that it looks nice. And
yeah, we could add like a table or something so that the comments post a little nicer.
yeah, and I kind of wonder if you could make them scroll across the screen, and just so that
yeah,
they don't all show up at the same time. They could kind of scroll through each comment. I don't know what the options are, but
sure.
or on
And
the
we're going to
side.
be doing like additional styling as the next week progresses, right? This one's functionality, next one's styling, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
But we'll do some for sure. Okay.
I mean, if that works for everybody, what are everybody else's thoughts? I think that would put us kind of on track and we'd be in a good spot. But.
Right. I think we'll have to be in communication a lot this week through chat and maybe some more meetings.
So on here, Jordan, you put move across the top of the screen. It sounds like it's either going to be to the side or at the bottom, I would think.
So if we can get them scrolling across the top, we will.
Oh, scrolling like a headline, kind of like.
So, yeah, imagine like just like a one line scrolling continuously, like a weather warning on a TV show, but it's on the top.
Right. I hear you. I just don't think I like it. I don't think that I would like it that way if I was the person that was looking at them. To have to wait for the comment that you're wanting to read seems less whatever, but that's fine if that's what everybody wants. Or actually sounds complicated. So hopefully it's fine. Maybe it's the way I'd put that. Is that what you were saying, Cody, for it to scroll across the top like that?
I think however you guys want to try to set it up works for me. I'm not too picky. I mean, I was even thinking maybe, how, let me pull up just a playlist here. So whenever you go to these playlists, and let me mute this. They've got like a list of videos over here on this side.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we could just play the video in full screen by itself, but maybe have a block of comments over here instead.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing, like on the side over here where there's a scroller so it doesn't go higher than the TV, and you.
It could maybe just rotate through those comments. It would have a continuous flow that would just kind of flow through each comment that's been posted. I don't know. Maybe something to that degree, because they're not going to have any access to be able to scroll through this stuff. It's just showing on a TV. So
I
we
see.
want it to be able to flow automatically by itself somehow,
So
or across the top.
Right.
Like, I mean, either way, whatever.
right. So what Jordan's been saying was right. It's going to be on a TV, so it needs to flow. Okay. I like this better though on the side where you'd see more than just one headline going across.
Yeah,
But
and
either way will work, like you said. I gotcha.
yeah, and I think if we can take this and make it, create an iframe of just the video, so that it's not overlapping the actual content of what's showing on screen. So does that
Yeah,
make
okay.
sense? Do you see where I'm coming from?
Sure. Jordan was with you more than me, so. Since we have a page where users are going to be adding comments that are with management, it seems like it would be advantageous to also have like a spot where they could drop a comment before the week expiration if they wanted to. Like if the announcements becomes something they don't want on there anymore. Just a simple drop of, like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we're going to have them expiring after a week, but what if after 2 days they're like, okay, we need that announcement taken off? Is this thing going to be really used, Cody?
Yeah, it'll be up in the break room.
Okay, so does that seem necessary?
Yeah, I mean, if there would be a way to create an expiration date, I think that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Well, where you choose the expiration date, that might be more complicated. I don't know what that side of it is because that's what Jordan was working on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where you guys are at or how it's been working out, but
I was just saying a spot where you could drop comments if you wanted to, where you could have the comments listed on the same page that the user would add them, and then he could hit like a X that happened, then the comment would go away when they choose as opposed to waiting for the week. I can see how to do that. I don't know about the other one. It might be easy.
Either way. I think that either one of those options would be helpful. So.
Okay, Jordan can help me figure out which one of them is easiest because of his side.
So I think one thing to keep in mind is the top priority is getting this done what we need to for the class and not biting off more than we can chew. I understand that, this is going to be for your work, Cody, and everything. And there's definitely improvements that can be made after the fact. But I think focusing on the core, getting the core done, and then building out from there would be kind of the priority. I don't know if I'm coming across.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I think that's why I said let's just bag the users table and some of that, extra additional features that we can add later. I can add later as needed. But I think if we can just get it functional and so that it looks nice and is able to do essentially what we're trying to make it do, I think that'd be great.
So were we with the team activity, were we going to postpone that then to another day, or?
I'm up for whatever you guys want to do. If you guys want to try to work through it today, we can. If you want to wait until we have a few more people, just kind of work on trying to get up and running for everyone, that's an option too. So.
Well, I have a wedding I got to go to. I forgot to mention that when we started the meeting, but yeah, so I mean, I'll just, either way, I'll do that.
I would be more for meeting again and just focusing on getting the project further. At least for, the next little bit and having more people. Well, I don't know if more people would even be able to join. That's the tricky part.
Yeah, I don't know either. But if
maybe in the light of hoping other instruction clarity comes up is a good enough excuse.
That's true too. That's true too. He might update it with a Postgres example. I don't know. Ugh.
yeah, so I can't meet on Wednesday, but I could do an hour on Monday or Tuesday from like 6 to 7 on either one of those days, if that works for you guys. I've got work till 5, and I've got other meetings at 7 o'clock on both of those days. So.
Okay. Either day for me, anytime really.
Same.
I think I could probably make both work too. So ask on Monday or ask about Monday or Tuesday in the chat, and then we'll just see where most people can meet and go.
Yeah,
from
when
there.
the other group members watch this, hopefully they can post a time in the chat about when works for them. We can figure that out.
Sure.
Awesome. Sounds good. Okay, I'll go ahead and stop the recording for now.
Okay.